All right. We are back with episode 17 of our podcast series here on YouTube, formerly on Twitch. And yes, it has been 3 weeks since our last podcast, but unfortunately, as the strikes continue to go on, there's really not much news coming out. And unfortunately, still, it's probably not going to change anytime soon until, obviously they work out a deal and the strikes are over with. But yeah, until that happens, unfortunately, really, the vast majority of stuff that, we have to go over is just basically rumors and leaks. But um, yeah, unfortunately, there's not going to be much in terms of official news as long as the strikes are going on. But nonetheless, we will talk about, the little bits of news, at least, that has come out, as well as, some of the more interesting rumors that have been doing the rounds lately. But with that being said, we will actually start off with an update on the strikes and more specifically the WGA writers strike. So about like a week or two ago, it was announced that the Hollywood studios officially gave a counter proposal, a counter offer to the WGA. So they essentially, they looked over the deal and we'll actually go over some of the things that reportedly were included in this counter offer. And essentially, the WGA, they looked at the counter offer and essentially they still weren't like, I don't know, how much they still want to change and how much they don't, but they did send another counter offer to the Hollywood studios back as recently as like a couple days ago, I believe. So now we're pretty much just in wait and see mode to see what the studios come back to them with in terms of, if they're going to have yet another counter offer to them, or, if they're just going to be like, we'll take it, but unfortunately, probably the first option because, I feel like it's going to come down to whatever the WGA accepts and not the studios, but we will see. But yeah, essentially, what little we do know about what the counter offer that the studios had sent to the WGA. Let's see, we'll get into those here. Yes, offer that includes a number of concessions. These include a greater level of transparency with viewer data and a promise that humans will remain the credited writers of screenplays and not AI. Streamers currently keep viewership data closely guarded secret, but that information would be shared with writers moving forward, specifically in regard to the number of hours a title is viewed. And that'll presumably make a big difference to some of the, residual checks, I guess, according to them. And then I guess they're also offering a 20+% increase in those residual payments for TV shows that appear on other networks, aside from the one that they were created for. So that is, I guess, a couple of the things, at least that we know of, that the studios included in that counter offer to the WGA. Again, we don't know which of these things, if any, the WGA is like, okay, yeah, that works for us. So yeah, we're pretty much just, I mean, we have a little bit more information to go on, but we're still largely left in the dark as to, what both sides are thinking. So, I mean, at least the good news is that they are, finally back at the negotiating table, right? And they're, sending counter offers back and forth, because over the last couple months they were just doing nothing. They were just sitting back being like, no, you accept our offer or that's it. But at least now, they're actually having some sort of communication and, going back and forth on trying to work out a deal. So that is good. That is definitely good news. But can I see it ending anytime soon? Unfortunately, no. Because like I said, the word on the street is that there's still quite a ways away in terms of, coming on a deal that both sides agree with. And the other thing too, which is actually something that I had never even thought of until recently. Someone, I think it was one of the members on the WGA board, they had like tweeted this out or something. And they basically said that one of the difficult parts, or I guess one of the most difficult parts about this whole process, is that not every studio wants the same thing, right? So trying to get all of them to agree on one singular proposal is, obviously going to be very challenging. So that's another thing that they're having to deal with. So, yeah, well, I mean, because obviously, like, the studios are all competing against each other, right? Like, as soon as the strikes are over, they're going back to, being mortal enemies with each other, trying to make better movies than, their competitors, trying to make more money than their competitors. So, obviously, it's going to be tough for all of them to come up with a deal that, is mutually beneficial for everyone. But yeah, long story short, that is the latest on what we have regarding the strikes. Still no updates, still no movement on the actors union side of things, the SAG-AFTRA. As far as we know, the studios have yet to offer them any type of counter proposal yet. So that strike, the actor strike, could go on for even longer, for all we know, unless, something miraculously happens anytime soon. But yep, unfortunately, not a whole lot of good news on that front, but still a little bit of good news, I guess. But yeah, we're still largely in wait and see mode right now, but that is all we got for now relating to that. And with that out of the way, now we will move on to a few Star Wars related things before we get into the rest. And the first of those is we finally have Ahsoka coming out this week. And for those of you that don't know, initially it was supposed to release the 2-episode premiere on Wednesday. Now they have moved up the premiere date to Tuesday, so this upcoming Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to know at any other times, I'll say you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself because I don't know. But yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific is when those 2 episodes are going to be releasing on Tuesday now. And it sounds like that is also going to be the case for the rest of the episodes that release, each week. And honestly, I actually really like that shift in the schedule because previously, they would come out at like 3 a.m., for the East Coast. And I either have 2 options. I either stay up really late to watch it and just be extremely tired the next day, or I don't stay up to watch it, and then I literally have to stay off social media the whole day until I get back from work. So, until I'm able to watch it. So now that, it's premiering, at 9 p.m. for us, that is very much appreciated, at least for me, because now I guess, I'll actually be able to watch that as soon as it releases and won't have to worry about anything like that. So, but yeah, it's now on Tuesday night. And apparently I read a few of the early reviews, like the early social media reviews for the first 2 episodes. And it seems like for the most part, the vast majority of people really like the show, at least, the first 2 episodes. So obviously that's a good sign. And, it's it's hard for them to say like, oh yeah, this is going to be the best show or the best Star Wars show yet, because I mean, it is only just the first 2 episodes out of 8, so it's impossible to know. But still a good sign that, you know, the vast majority of people really like the first 2 episodes. And, you know, if you know anything about me in this podcast, you'll know that I've said for a while now that I think that this is going to be by far the best Star Wars show that has come out so far. And I don't plan on backing down from those claims, at least, you know, not until the show is over with. But yeah, very excited for that. And obviously we're not going to show it because, you know, I don't want to get this video or stream taken down or anything like that. But there is a clip, an officially released clip of Ahsoka dueling the Inquisitor. Is like one of those clips that they released. And I gotta say, the lightsaber combat, the fight choreography looks very good, very good. So if it's like that for, you know, the rest of the show, the rest of the duels, I mean, it's gonna be pretty sick. Gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, that's that. And I mean, like, there's been a whole bunch of other rumors and like plot leaks coming, because obviously a lot of people have seen the first, you know, 2 episodes so far, but we're not going to go into anything like that because, you know, we're only 2 days away from the show coming out. So we'll wait until that comes out. And then for the next podcast, we'll have what, 3, maybe 4 episodes of the show to talk about. So yeah, should be pretty cool. So the very last thing relating to this that I wanted to bring up really quick is apparently, because obviously I already mentioned it's going to be a 2-episode premiere, the first 2 episodes combined have a runtime of 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's basically going to be like watching a movie for the first 2 episodes, which obviously, again, another positive sign, another good thing about it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. What's up?
Have they said like in advance what to expect, like for runtimes for those shows for the series?
Not officially, no. Well, like I said, the first 2 episodes combined is about an hour and a half, so that's probably what, like 40-45 minutes per episode for the first 2. And
yeah, but Disney's gotten us before with that.
Yeah, that is true. And I don't know how true this is specifically, which is why I didn't bring it up, but there are rumors that episode 3 is only like 30 minutes or something like that. So it's probably going to be up and down like most of their shows are, to be fair. You know, we'll probably get like a 50-minute episode here and then like a 25-minute episode like the very next week. So yeah, it's probably gonna be back and forth between the runtime of the episodes, but you know, it is what it is. We'll see how it goes. I'm still looking forward to it. I still think it's gonna be a banger of a series, but yeah, only time will tell, I guess. But thankfully, we won't have to wait too much longer to know. So, and with that being said, we'll move on to the next thing. And I think Ben has actually like asked us before, brought it up before, how it would be cool, and I agreed, but I didn't know, you know, how feasible it was that something like this would ever happen. But now, before I say this, take this definitely with a pinch of salt, because this source is quite a bit hit and miss. But you know, nonetheless, a lot of people are talking about it, therefore I bring it up. And it is that Giant Freaking Robot, yes, that is their name, has claimed that Lucasfilm is planning a what if style Star Wars series, presumably animated, that will explore the franchise's many alternate timelines. Any thoughts? If it were to happen?
Confuse everybody so much.
Sheesh. I don't think so. Marvel did it, and that seemed to go okay.
Sure.
There'll probably be more Obi-Wan and Vader fights for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are quite literally endless for what they do, or for what they or can do, because I mean, there are a lot of, different ways that the Star Wars series and, any of the shows, movies could have gone. So they can really do anything. And, you know, if the rumors are to be believed, we're gonna kind of get a glimpse of some of those alternate timelines in the Ahsoka show when they go into the world between worlds again. So maybe that's gonna kind of be like when that episode releases, maybe that's gonna be like them kind of like feeling out like how people think about that concept. And then, if it's well received enough, if people are like, oh, dude, that is by far the best episode of the show, then they might be like, okay, like, yeah, we should move forward with this show. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it. But if it does happen, I mean, I'm all for it. I think there's a lot of cool, interesting possibilities with that. But again, I mean, like I said, the source is very hit and miss. So it's like far from being anywhere close to being confirmed just yet. But, we'll wait and see.
Probably accurate then.
We'll see if
Probably
any.
accurate.
I mean, I hope so, but we'll have to wait until, someone a little bit more reliable backs it up. But until then, we wait and see, like always. But anyways, with that being said, the very last Star Wars related thing that I have is that there are rumors that if these Hollywood strikes last until the end of the year or beyond, which I mean, I would hope not, but you never know with these things. Obviously, very well could happen. But if the strikes do go on for, quite some time still, there are rumors that Lucasfilm would then want to turn the upcoming season 4 of The Mandalorian into a movie instead. And apparently the reason for that is, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, but it is part of kind of like Disney's initiative of cutting back on Disney Plus content and focusing more on the theatrical side of things moving forward with all of their content, Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. So with that being said, and they've already confirmed that as much a couple weeks ago. So yeah, again, still a rumor for now, but because of that news that we got, from Bob Iger himself, I could very well see this being a possibility, them turning Mando season 4 into a movie, especially as we know that they're eventually going to be doing a like Mandoverse movie that like kind of ties all the shows together, and it's going to be like the finale or whatever. I could definitely see them doing like a film like leading up to that, that's essentially Mando season 4. But now, would I want that to happen? I don't know. I mean, when I first saw this, I was like, man, I would rather, it still be a show, right? Like, we still get season 4 of Mandalorian. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal. I mean, they're going to get obviously a bigger budget. Like, the production value is going to be higher. So I'm sure it'll work out fine if they do decide to turn season 4 into a movie. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, that's all I got for Star Wars related stuff. Do you guys have any questions, any thoughts on any of that stuff before we move on?
I mean, with more Star Wars. I just hope it's good, to be honest.
I
don't
mean,
know
that's all we
where I'm
can
at.
hope for at this point.
Yeah, I
but
don't know where I'm at with more Star Wars.
yeah, I feel like that's what probably most people think. It's only because I'm a diehard fan of the franchise is why I'm still I'm still hyped about it, even though it's mostly been not that great of late, that is anyways. But yeah, I hope it's great too. But we'll see. But yeah, with that being said, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, we don't have a whole lot of stuff relating to just run-of-the-mill popular TV shows or movies, at least in terms of official news, because, you know, obviously the strikes are going on. Like, actors aren't working, writers aren't working, so there's just not a whole lot of news on that front. But we do still have a few things nonetheless that we will go over. And the first of those things is a little bit of an update in terms of casting on The Last of Us Season 2. So apparently the co-showrunner, Craig Mazin, however you say his name, he kind of hinted in a recent interview that they very well might have cast the character Abby for season 2 already before the strikes happen. And then My Time to Shine, hello, obviously a rising prominent insider in the industry, claims that Shannon Barry has already been cast as the character of Abby in The Last of Us Season 2, the show that is. And here it's a pretty low quality image, but this is the actress in question right here on the left side that they apparently have cast as Abby. And this photo in particular doesn't really do it justice, because I've seen another kind of like portrait going around of the actress, and in that picture she looks like pretty much identical to what Abby looks like in the video game.
I remember seeing rumors about her, and I was like, she looks exactly like her.
Yeah, so if that is true, I'm all for it. Now, I don't really know how she is as an actor per se, because I don't think I've seen anything that she's been in. But I mean, if her acting is decent, I mean, she's definitely got the look for sure. So I think it's a fine casting. But obviously we don't know for sure yet that, she actually has been cast as Abby, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we won't know for sure until the strikes are over, because they just can't. They can't say anything about that until then. But yeah, if that does turn out to be the case, I'm all for it. And for those of you that don't know, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, because a lot of people that have seen the show have not played through the video games. But if you don't know anything about the character of Abby, just know that she has a pretty substantial, important role in The Last of Us 2. So, yeah.
Wrong.
Now, I know a lot of people don't like the character because of what she does in the game. But, I mean, nonetheless, she's still obviously going to be a very important character in the story. So, but yeah. That being said, we'll move on to the next. And it pains me, but unfortunately, obviously, we're not going to be able to watch the trailer for this because, of recent things that have happened on the YouTube channel. And I don't want this video to get taken down, therefore, I'm not going to chance it. But there was the first trailer for an upcoming series called The Changeling, which is going to be on Apple TV Plus. And it stars Lakeith Stanfield, which as soon as I heard that, before I even watched the trailer, I was like, oh, this should be pretty good then. Like, let me check this out. And the trailer, obviously, it's one of those shows where it's definitely more so like a mystery, so the trailer doesn't reveal a whole lot. But just in terms of like the visuals and like the mystery of what's going on, like it's definitely a show that looks intriguing, and I'm definitely interested in checking it out. But essentially, let me see if they have a kind of synopsis right here. I guess it's also based off a book. For those of you that are interested in anything like that. The show is described as a fairy tale for grown-ups. It's a unique blend of horror, parenthood, fable. The trailer begins with the main character who's played by it's Lakeith Stanfield's character's wife, I guess, and she goes missing, but she does something like crazy, I guess, before she goes missing. And then he's trying to like, you know, follow the trail, trace her steps. And then along the way, he's like learning like crazy things about not only New York City, but also like what she did like before she disappeared. But yeah, the premise sounds interesting. The trailer looks interesting, and I'm sure it's going to be really cool. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to bring this up, aside from what I've already brought up, is that so for the longest time, people have been recommending me shows to watch on Apple TV Plus, and I just never got around to it.
Same.
But recently, I have got around to watching a few of those shows, mainly a show called Silo, which is actually like pretty recent, if I remember correctly.
Is that based off a book?
Yes, it is.
I have that book. The book.
Oh, I'm sure if it's anything like the show, I'm sure the book is good. But yeah, that was phenomenal. And the other one I watched was Severance, also extremely good.
That is a good show.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that to
watched
anyone
it
that hasn't
with,
seen it. Yep.
Adam Scott.
Yeah. But yeah, there's still a couple other ones on my list that I still have to watch on Apple TV Plus. But yeah, that's basically because I started watching these shows. I was like, holy crap, like Apple TV Plus actually has some banger shows. What the heck? But yeah, and then obviously once I heard about this show coming out also on Apple TV Plus, I was like, oh, well, I'll definitely have to, you know, make sure to keep an eye out for that and watch it when it premieres. But yeah, long story short, I just wanted to bring that up real quick. That's all I had for that. And the other one, another thing, you know, just kind of like a weird random thing that I wanted to bring up for a specifically odd reason. But the first trailer, now I didn't even know this was a thing until I saw this trailer, but the first trailer released for an upcoming Netflix horror series called The Fall of the House of Usher. And if that name sounds familiar to you, it's because it's based off the Edgar Allan Poe story of the same name. And it's from Mike Flanagan. He's done like a bunch of like horror related stuff for Netflix, and he's done a bunch of like movies and stuff that were like pretty popular and well received. But the main reason I was interested in this is because apparently the show is not just a direct adaptation of the Fall of the House of Usher story from Edgar Allan Poe, but apparently it also combines like a bunch of other of his stories into like one show. And when I was in school, I had this very weird phase where I just read like a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe stuff. So that is the main reason why I am like, you know, definitely intrigued and at least checking out this show. But will it be good? I mean, from what I haven't seen any of his other Netflix shows, Mike Flanagan that is, but I heard they're all pretty good. So I'm assuming the show at least won't be bad, but I don't know exactly how good it'll be. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that is again as well. Unfortunately, not gonna show the trailer on stream because of reasons. But yeah, if you're interested in that as well as the other show that we talked about, I would definitely look it up and watch the trailer for yourself, because both trailers definitely look pretty interesting. But anyways, with that being said, we'll move on to we actually have just two like movie related things, and then we're gonna move into some MCU related stuff. But the first of the movie things is that Zack Snyder has officially revealed that the first trailer for his upcoming Rebel Moon film on Netflix is finally coming out on Tuesday. So we'll finally get the full trailer for that online Tuesday. And then from that trailer, we will instantly know how good or bad this movie is going to be. Because that's just how it goes. That's just how it works. But I don't make the rules, you know. I just follow them. But yeah, obviously, you know, very hyped thing. And everything I've heard about this movie, I mean, sounds very interesting. So, I mean, the trailer is only going to, you know, further elevate my expectations for this movie or lower them. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there's a lot of people hyped for that. So we'll see, once that trailer comes out. And the last thing I wanted to bring up is a movie called Anatomy of a Fall. So apparently the first trailer for this movie came out recently, and earlier this year at the Cannes Film Festival, it won their grand prize, like their overall award for like best picture or whatever that they have going on at the film fest. And for those of you that don't know, the Cannes Film Festival is like one of the biggest film festivals in the world yearly. So winning the top prize there is obviously, it means you got a pretty good movie on your hands, I would say. But yeah, the trailer looks very good. Very, very good. So again, I can't show. I know it's like I'm just like baiting people, like, oh dude, this trailer's so good. You can't show it though. Can't show it though. But yeah, you should definitely go see it. I know I hate to do it, but unfortunately, YouTube's, they're just being weird lately, so I don't want to risk the video getting taken down. But yeah, the movie looks very good. I guess to just give you like a quick synopsis, I guess from what I could tell, at least from the trailer, is like this guy, he like falls to his death from like the top of this like isolated cabin, and his wife, who's like the main character of the movie, she was like the only one there at the time of his death, so she's being investigated as the cause of his death. And then there's like a whole bunch of things that like start coming to light as they're like investigating her and whatnot. But it definitely it looks interesting for sure. It definitely looks interesting. So if you're interested in anything like that, or if it sounds even remotely interesting to you, I'd definitely watch the trailer, because at least in my opinion, it looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's going to be coming out in October. Exactly when, October 13th is when that movie is coming out, at least in the US. I think it's coming out a little bit earlier in France, but because it is a French film. But anyways, yeah, that's about all I got for the movie side of things. So we will now transition, as long as you guys don't have anything to add before we move on. We
Yes,
will.
sir. I'll have to check those trailers out though.
Yes, you definitely should. But yeah, now we will move on to some MCU related stuff. And very quickly before I kick it over to Ben here, there was rather a earnings call by Disney. Was it earlier this week or the week before? I don't know. Sometime recently there was an earnings call from Disney, and essentially, hold on, let me look at the thing here. Yeah, they showcase all of their upcoming projects from basically now until next like July or August, somewhere around there. And to the dismay of a lot of people, Deadpool 3 was not amongst them. So a lot of people are taking that as a sign that Deadpool 3 is probably getting delayed from its early May release date of next year. I still have hope. I was
gonna say, wasn't it done filming, or just about done filming?
So they still had like another month or so, I think, left of filming. But I think if the strike, at least the actors strike, if the actors strike concludes anytime within the next month or so, I still think the movie has a good shot of releasing on time for that May release date of next year. If it's anything more than another month, yeah, probably safe to say that's getting delayed, as you know, as well as everything else. But honestly, the only MCU movie I think I can say for sure will come out next year, regardless of what happens with the strikes, is Captain America 4, because they're already done filming that. They already finished filming before the strikes began, so they got plenty of time to, work on post-production and whatnot until that comes out next summer. But yeah, unfortunately, that's probably the only movie, at least in terms of the MCU, that's probably a guarantee to come out next year. But, as always, we'll see how it goes. We'll just have to wait and see. And the other thing relating to that is they also showed their upcoming TV series within that same time frame, and Echo was not listed as well, which again leads a lot of people to assume that Echo might also be getting delayed from this year. But apparently, I don't know, like, the full story behind this or the legitimacy of this. But I guess Loki season 2 was listed on there, but they didn't have the release date on there, even though literally like 2 weeks ago they confirmed it was coming out in October, whatever day it is. Which, makes me think that, maybe it's just an oversight on their part, maybe because it's, only like 4 or 5 episodes and it's all releasing at once. Maybe they just didn't care to include that on the list of, like, their major shows coming up this year. I don't know for sure. That's just obviously speculation on my part, but yeah, it seems though there's, at least a pretty decent chance that both Echo might get released, and then obviously Deadpool 3 for next year. And if the strike continues for much longer, probably other stuff as well beyond that are likely going to be delayed as well. But as with all things, we will wait and see what happens on that front. But yeah, that is a thing that happened recently. But yeah, with that being said, that's all that I have. So if you want to take over, Ben, we will continue to talk about some MCU related things.
Yeah. So, kicking off the list here, Insider Can We Get Some Toast claims that Marvel will soon be getting rid of the 6-episode, $200 million budget Disney Plus show in an effort to cut back on what they consider to be MCU bloat. It's unclear if they're still planning on it. Excuse me. It's unclear if they still plan on releasing shorter seasons or more special presentations instead.
Yeah.
Not surprising at all.
No, I would prefer shorter seasons or just give us the full fucking show in a special presentation, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yes. I think that also might be why they're kind of experimenting with the release of Echo as well. Considering that's only going to be like 4 to 5 episodes and it's all releasing at once. I feel like that also might be kind of, par for the course as to what we might expect from future Marvel things, or they just won't have any at all. Maybe it'll just be strictly special presentations. I don't know. I truly don't know what they're going to do. But I would imagine that probably won't start until, all of their shows that already done filming are, done and released. So like, what we got: Loki season 2, Echo, Agatha, Ironheart, and Daredevil, Born Again. I feel like once those shows are, done and released, probably by the end of next year, I feel like that's when, we're going to start seeing significantly less of the Disney Plus things. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely all for it because I agree that like the MCU content bloat is definitely real. I feel like they're just churning out way too many things, and I feel like that's part of the reason why a lot of people are like being turned off by the MCU, at least like the recent MCU stuff. But I don't know. We'll see what happens and how they choose to go about it. But
That we will.
Yeah. Only hope that quality of shows start to improve. But I am looking forward to Loki.
yeah,
100%.
should be pretty good.
So next on the list here we have Shassir Zamada's role. Wow. In Agatha Coven of Chaos has now finally been revealed, as she will be reportedly be playing the powerful sorceress Jennifer Kale. Can we get some toast? Further claims that Mephisto will not appear in the show, but will be mentioned.
Nice, dude.
This would be like the third show he's mentioned, or a second show he's mentioned,
He'll be
maybe.
Yeah,
mentioned,
the
dude.
first
They won't
show.
even- they won't even say Mephisto, by the way. We'll say like
Yeah,
M
probably
or
not.
something.
Probably not. But that's okay because we will be seeing him finally in the flesh whenever Ironheart comes out. So, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't really know in terms of that Jennifer Kale character. I don't really know a whole lot about her from the comics. I do know she has like a weird connection with Man Thing in the comics, so maybe there's gonna be like a connection there from like the special, the Werewolf by Night Hollywood Halloween special presentation. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
So now we've got My Time to Shine Hello claims that the Nova show has been postponed indefinitely by Marvel as they now look to focus on other projects.
Forget it, dude.
But they say the character will still show up at some point down the road.
Yeah, definitely a little bit, disappointed by that because I do really like the character Nova in the comics, both versions. But yeah, I mean, I get it though. I really get it because they don't have a whole lot of time before Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars comes out, so to try and fit him in there with either like through a show or a movie is going to be pretty tough to do. So I completely understand why they would want to wait until after Secret Wars for a project revolving around him, but we'll see.
Here's something interesting I didn't even know, but My Time to Shine Hello claims that Thor 5 is in early development, and that there is a good chance Taika Waititi, holy, returns to direct. And Taika also recently claimed that if he made a Thor 5, the villain would have to be more powerful than Hela, which I'm all for.
Surprised he's willing to do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't. It's just speculation that there's a good chance he can come back, but
if he was,
right,
it's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he feels about, how the last Thor movie was. I don't know.
We have a Gore redemption arc, but this time actually be fucking brutal as shit.
I would be all for that, but will they bring him back to life and make it happen? I don't know.
Probably.
But also, I don't think Christian Bale will come back to do it again. I think he was only going to do it if it was like a one and done thing. But
yeah, you didn't hear about the new show Thor vs. Batman?
That's not coming out for another 10 years, my guy.
His homie's got the script.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I saw a lot of people saying like, oh my god, like why are they doing another Thor movie? The last one sucked, blah blah blah. But like, I feel like people forget Thor Ragnarok was phenomenal. Like Ragnarok was really good, and like if they can somehow, recapture the essence of what made that movie great, I think a fifth Thor movie could, be equally as good, if not better. But, will it happen? I guess time will tell. But But yeah, if they choose to do something like that, you know, I'm all for it as long as, they have a good story and, a good, plan to continue to explore the character and introduce new concepts, but we'll see.
And let's see, again from My Time to Shine Hello claims that Ghost Rider project was in the works before the strike and that they are still planning on moving forward with the project after the strike is over. Is there rumors about who this version of Ghost Rider is being played by out there
No.
yet?
No.
Not
a clue. Nothing like that. So I'm in a weird spot with this one because while I would love it to happen, I just don't see it happening anytime soon because it would make a ton of sense, right? Because he fits in with some of the other characters that they've already made content for and are going to be making content for, in the very near future, like the Werewolf by Night, Halloween special, Blade, Doctor Strange, like all of those things, Ghost Rider definitely fits in with all of that. And obviously like WandaVision and the spin-offs like Agatha and whatnot, but will they have the time or the space to fit in a Ghost Rider project? At least before something like Secret Wars, I just can't see it. Especially if they mean what they say when they're trying to cut back, you know what I mean, on these MCU projects. There's just no way that that's gonna happen anytime soon. But we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. But
what if in the original plans for Thunderbolts they just slipped him in there? I don't.
For Thunderbolts?
Yeah, for Thunderbolts. I mean,
it would be crazy though. As much as I like Sentry, it would be crazy if they had him be like the villain of the team instead of Sentry in that movie. That could be pretty sick, but yeah, obviously that's not gonna happen, but in terms of hypotheticals, I guess, but yeah, no. Long story short, I think it's still gonna be quite some time before we see Ghost Rider in the MCU, but
yeah.
Hopefully I'm wrong.
So, the Cosmic Circus is claiming that Doctor Strange 3 is in development and that it'll loosely adapt the Time Runs Out comic storyline, which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, so I think this article actually gives like a brief rundown of what happens in that. Let me see.
That's the Convergence one, right? Like with the
yes.
multiverse
Yes.
and all itself, essentially.
Let's see. Yes, we know what happens at the end of 2. Clea arrives on Earth that seeks Doctor Strange's help. Let's see. The MCU threequel is expected to begin where Multiverse of Madness ended, with Strange enlisted by a group called the Black Priests. Clea is a member of the multiversal organization, and their HQ will be in the nothing of space destroyed, or in the nothing space of destroyed universes, which exists within the space of 2 dead universes caused by an incursion. From there, we'll learn that the multiverse is dying as a result of incursions. They're assuming it's caused by King the Conqueror. The threequel would also better explore the supposed threat Strange poses to the wider multiverse. So it doesn't actually explain what happens in that comic storyline, I guess. I guess they're just saying, like, based off what happens in that, they're kind of just inferring what would happen in the third movie. But so I'm assuming the comic line goes something along those lines, but yeah, I guess that's basically multiverse is dying of incursions and they need his help to try and get everything back under control. But
Man, this is kind of crazy to read. But this we have from Can We Get Some Toast? He has seemingly hinted that Sentry might kill Bucky in the Thunderbolts film. It's been a good run.
Yeah, so
Buckeye essentially did his full fucking story.
yeah. I feel like let's take a step back here. So basically, it all originated from this tweet from My Time to Shine Hello, actually, where they basically why they said something this out of pocket, I have no idea, but they said Bucky needs to die painfully. That's all they said.
Right.
They tweeted
Jesus.
that, and then Can We Get Some Toast responded to that and said, well, funny you mentioned that, since Bucky does run into the Sentry, parentheses, the man with the power of a million suns in Thunderbolts, what happens when Bob, that's his name, the Sentry, loses control to the Void? And then I don't know what this is from, but it's this gif of Sentry turning into, his evil alter ego, the Void, and then he throws like this black hole at
I think that's Ultimate Alliance.
It might be. But yeah, he throws like this black hole, like energy orb thing at I don't know what character that is off screen, but I don't know if they're implying that that's what's gonna happen to Bucky in the movie in Thunderbolts, but it sounds like he might go out in a pretty bad way in this movie. But again, that's just speculation on my part based off what it seems they might be hinting at here. But I don't know. I mean, if he does die, if he gets killed by the Sentry, I mean, I'm with you guys. I mean, I wouldn't be too upset, because I mean,
It's been a good run.
I love his story, and
yeah,
I just don't know what more they can do.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I mean, would it be cool to see him, with everyone in Secret Wars and whatnot? Sure, but I mean,
100%.
I guess he could still show up, I guess, as a variant from some other universe. But in terms of the 616 Bucky, yeah, it does not sound too good for his chances of surviving beyond the events of Thunderbolts. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I still don't know how they're even going to do this whole thing, by the way, because from what we've heard, they plan on making him just as powerful as he was in the comics. And if that's true, the Thunderbolts roster literally has no one, even combined, that comes even close, to being able to stop him. So I don't know if they're going to bring in someone else, like another Avenger or multiple Avengers, or if it's just going to be, something like what happens in the comic.
Gaia, bro.
God, could you imagine? That's actually why. That's why they made her so OP in Secret Invasion. They're like, bro, we need someone to stop this guy, because there's just no one we have right now that can do this. But no, I think the only thing I can think of realistically is it's just going to be something like in the comics where he basically just allows himself to be defeated. Because he suffers from
a good guy.
Well, because he realizes he's like he realizes he's the extent of his mental illness and whatnot, and he doesn't want his evil persona to take over again. So he kind of just like I don't really understand like the full extent of it. Like I guess like he can somehow be vulnerable again, like if he wills himself to be vulnerable. So maybe
right here in the balls.
maybe that's how they do it. All I'm saying is like I'm okay with Bucky dying, long story short, but they better not do my boy dirty, dude. Like if he dies like how in the way that like Sentry kills some of his opponents in the comics, like just ripping them in half or like just obliterating them like with the with the heat of 1,000 suns, like that's gonna be rough to see. that's gonna be rough to see him go out like that. But maybe they need to, just to show how big of a threat he is. I don't know, but we'll see. We will see.
All right, so again from Can We Get Some Toast, he claims that Marvel still wants to cast Tom Cruise in some future MCU projects, even if it's not a popular fan cast, Superior Iron Man.
Would it be cool to see him as Superior Iron Man in Secret Wars? Sure. Obviously, everyone would like to see that,
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're only gonna have a 5'3" foot tall Iron Man.
All right, dude. I'll let you know. Robert Downey Jr. is not that tall.
sheesh.
Yeah.
But
He was actually just on stilts in the suit.
Yes.
But yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, I think it'd be cool to see Tom Cruise in any role in the MCU, but
Yo, can you
I'm sure
imagine
they would
if
want-
they casted Tom Cruise for like an Agent Coulson type role?
what, just like a support agent, like behind the scenes.
He's just a
Like,
support agent. Yeah, dude. He's the MCU's James Bond.
oh man, I have no idea. I have no idea what they'll cast him
Him and
in.
Howard the
or how
Duck go
that'll
on
work,
adventures.
but I feel like obviously I don't think it'll be like a major role in terms of like multiple movies that he's in. If if they do somehow work out a deal and they are able to get him in the MCU somehow, but even if it's like a very brief small role or just in one movie, I feel like it's gonna be a pretty important role nonetheless. Like I feel like if they're getting Tom Cruise in there, it's it's gonna.
You mean
be,
he's not going to be like Matt Damon in the Thor movies?
No, he's not doing that. He is not doing that.
Or Melissa
I don't know,
McCarthy?
he did something like that for oh, Robert Downey Jr. plays a black guy. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, right, yeah.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens, but yeah, I guess it would be cool to see him as in some capacity or in some role in the MCU.
So, all right, I got two more things on the list here.
Mhm.
The first of which is multiple prominent insiders are all claiming that Hugh Jackman has met with Marvel to discuss him showing up in other MCU projects, including a major role in Secret Wars.
Yeah, so that kind of goes along with that Deadpool 3 supposed plot leak that we talked about on the last podcast, where at the end it said like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine ends up in the MCU alongside Deadpool. Where I was like, why would they do that? If they don't plan on having him in any other stuff, as Wolverine. But I mean, if it's true they're trying to get him in Secret Wars and potentially even other things, I mean, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. And lastly, from none other, Can We Get Some Toast? Claims that Emma Corrin will be playing Cassandra Nova in Deadpool 3. The evil twin of Charles Xavier in the comics. They further added that she will be one of the main villains of the film.
Yeah, so
Will she be bald too?
no. But you didn't know Charles Xavier had an evil twin, did you?
I didn't. I thought this
He's
was
the
Cap.
brother that we've already seen. Wow.
Sabretooth,
True.
right?
No, that's Wolverine. But yeah, essentially, for those of you that haven't been keeping up on the whole, like, Deadpool 3 situation in terms of casting and whatnot. So, like, a while ago, Emma Corrin was cast as what they described only as a villainous role at the time. But now, we finally know that she's going to be playing Cassandra Nova.
Do we know? Or is this just like a rumor? What do
Um,
they think it's gonna be?
so it's still technically like a rumor per se, but the fact that like pretty much every single insider is saying it to be true, more likely than not, it's probably the case. But obviously, there's always a small chance that you know it doesn't turn out to be the case. But yeah, we'll see. But if it turns out to be true, I mean, I'm all for it. That'd be pretty cool. How that fits in, with the story, at least from what we've heard, the story of how like the story might go, I have no idea. But I also think, or I also thought it was interesting how she said that was, she was only playing one of the main villains in the movie, as in, there's gonna be quite a few. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. But nonetheless, literally everything I hear about Deadpool 3, both confirmed and otherwise, just somehow continues to raise my hype levels for this movie even more. But
True.
yeah, all we can do is keep our fingers crossed and hope that it does not get delayed substantially. But I mean, it's nothing we can do if it does. But yeah, pretty cool.
And that is all that I have for my list here.
All right, sounds good. Well, Evan, do you want to take over for the rest of it?
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay. A producer on the Marvels, Mary Lavanos, recently shed some light on how the film might connect to the upcoming Avengers movies by revealing that the two bangles, when they're combined, it unleashes a power that could affect the multiverse. Something that we already thought.
Yeah, that is true.
Thanks, lady.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see how all that plays out. But yeah,
But yeah, I mean that makes sense.
yeah, for sure.
Like I said, that's pretty much what we all thought.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see exactly how it's going to work and tie in, with the next Avengers movies and whatnot. But yeah, that's probably the basic gist of it. Is that somehow when they're combined, I don't know, maybe they just like cause incursions or something like that. I don't know, but we will find out soon enough, unless it gets delayed. then we'll have to wait. But yeah, I'm obviously, I'm hyped up Deadpool 3 a lot because I mean that's just like the scope of that movie is just insane, to not hype it up. But I'm actually like surprisingly excited for the Marvels as well, not gonna lie. Like I think it could be a pretty fun movie that has like surprisingly real consequences for, what's to come, but we shall see.
That we shall. Okay. Moving on to something that we hear from Can We Get Some Toast? They've backed up rumors from a while ago that Secret Wars will serve as a soft reboot of the MCU, and that a brand new MCU will take its place afterwards. Hey, look at that! Another thing we thought of already.
Yeah, that is true.
Cool.
Probably needed, to be honest, but
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it. In order for that to be like as big as an event that they want it to be, it's gonna have to.
yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, like once you do that, how do you top that? Like you can't, like you really
Yeah.
can't go bigger than that. So what's your only logical next step? Just restart everything.
Yeah.
Like just start from scratch again. So, and like we said too, like there's just like for anyone that hasn't seen anything of the MCU before, that's like just trying to get into the MCU, they have so many things to watch. Like they have so much to get caught up on. Like it's insane. And they still will have even more to, over the next couple of years until Secret Wars comes out. So it's kind of hard to get, many new fans on board to the MCU with, just how much they have to watch and get caught up. But it's like watching, like One Piece. Oh, I know it's good finally, but now I have to watch 1,000 episodes to, to catch up. So in light of that as well, I feel like that's another good reason why they should, you know, probably do a soft reboot of the MCU after that, but we'll see.
Yeah, probably for the best. But yeah, I mean that's good news.
Yes, yes.
But moving on to multiple insiders are claiming that Vanessa Kirby is all but locked in to play Sue Storm in Fantastic Four. They also claim that Joseph Quinn is the new. Sorry. They also claim that Joseph Quinn is the new top choice to play Johnny Storm. Who the fuck is Vanessa Kirby? That sounds familiar.
So hold
What's
on.
she in?
Let me see.
He was just in the new Mission Impossible movie.
Yes.
I didn't see it.
She was in
She was
that.
the blonde chick that's really attractive.
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah, that's
That
a
doesn't
dead
make
given,
me
but
see the movie.
I think
I mean, now I want to more.
the only other thing I think I've seen her in, and I hate to say this, I hate to admit that I've seen this, but that Hobbs and Shaw Fast and Furious spinoff movie
Wow, you
with the
watched
Rock
that?
and Jason Statham, yeah, unfortunately.
Okay. No, it's fine. I'm not judging you.
She plays who does she play actually? She's like one of the main characters. Oh, it was Jason Statham's character, his sister, I guess, is who she played in that movie. But I think that's like the only other thing I recognized her in. But yeah, I mean, she was good in Mission Impossible. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm all for it if they decide to cast her as Sue Storm, and for Joseph Quinn as as Johnny Storm.
like
I'm
Johnny Storm.
obviously also very okay with that choice as well. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Now, obviously, we have to throw the disclaimer out there. Like any casting rumors that you hear about anything, much less the Fantastic Four, even if it is true for now, or rather, even if it was true pre-strikes, doesn't mean it's going to be the case post-strikes, once everything's done, because, well, number one, it could still be a while before the strikes are over, and, who knows what's going to happen in between that time, like people could change their minds, like schedules can shift, like all that stuff. So even if these two are, currently like loosely on board for these roles in Fantastic Four, I mean, if the strikes last, a whole lot longer, that could very much change. So, and I mean, we already basically got quote unquote confirmation as to what the cast was originally supposed to be before, right? With Margot Robbie as Sue Storm, Adam Driver as Reed Richards, and all that. But then, and then it ended up not happening because they all ended up backing out. So, but like I said, if this does happen, at least for these two, specifically, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about the other girl, but based on the pictures, she looks like she could play the character. But I
Yes,
do like Joseph Quinn, so
yes. I'm glad he's getting to be in more things.
yeah, 100%.
After Stranger Things. All right. What else you got?
Let me back up. Sorry, I was looking up the actress.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
Ebon Moss Baccarat, that's probably how you pronounce it, is
Yes.
heavily rumored to be playing one of Galactus's heralds in Fantastic Four, either Silver Surfer or Terrax, after previously being rumored to play Ben Grimm. Daniel RPK further claimed that Marvel plans to offer the role of Reed Richards to Adam Driver once again once the strikes are over, and that Matt Smith and Dev Patel are also in the running if he declines. I'm pretty biased to Matt Smith, just because he's one of my favorite doctors.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Adam Driver do anything. So,
Yeah.
who the fuck is Eben Moss?
So that I knew that question was gonna come up. I was
I don't know who that guy is.
I was
Does he look like
prepared.
a Silver Surfer? Why haven't they portrayed a
Well,
Silver
it won't. I was gonna say it won't matter if he looks like him or not, because they'll probably do like partial CG for the character, I'd imagine, but if not fully CG. But he was in. So there is a show that very recently, and I think it's still ongoing, actually called The Bear. I don't know if either of you are familiar with that, but apparently he's like he plays. Let me look. Like I said, I haven't seen the show. I'm just looking to see what the character he plays. He plays Richard Richie Jurimovich. He's like one of the main characters.
Main character's brother, I
don't know. Hold on, let me see. Says he is the de facto manager of the restaurant and Michael's best friend. Doesn't say anything aside from that. He's like number 2 on like the main cast list, so he has to be like he's like the one of the main characters.
Let me pull him up.
But anyways, while you do that, he was also in Andor. He was in a couple episodes of that. He played the guy that Andor ended up killing because he was like a part of the heist crew. I don't know if either of you have seen Andor yet.
This is his. Yeah, that's his brother.
Okay.
Or cousin. Sorry, you're not brother. Cousin. They go cousin.
Yeah.
In the show.
But yeah, he's done that. He's been in Andor and something that Ben has seen, so that he can also put a face to who this guy is. He was in the first season of The Punisher as well. He played Lieberman, the guy that was like helping.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
Frank Castle.
Man.
Yeah.
The hacker man.
So like, you know, he's obviously been in some stuff, and like honestly, especially his character in The Punisher, it's kind of like very similar to the Silver Surfer's character if you think about it, because in that show, you know, he was forced to like fake his death, right, in order to protect his family, and like, you know, he couldn't go back and see them. So he, you know, he stayed hidden, he stayed on the run, you know, to protect them, and that's kind of like what the Silver Surfer's whole like character is, right? Like he chooses to become Galactus's herald to spare his world, right, and to spare his family from being swallowed alive by Galactus. So I feel like he's already played a character that's like pretty similar to that, right? So I mean, if that ends up being the case, like I'm all for it. I think he can do a fine job as the Silver Surfer. Like I liked him in Andor. Like I said, I haven't seen The Bear yet, so I don't know. Like
it'd be so weird to see him as a Silver Surfer after watching The Bear.
Yeah, because it's probably more of like a comedic show, right? So it's
well, I mean, it's definitely serious, but
okay.
It has its serious like dramatic moments, but his character is just like
over the top, like
it just wouldn't. I can't see it fitting. So obviously, it'd be a different, you know,
right?
It'd be somebody
be a
else,
different character.
That'd be fun. That's all I would see. Okay. Well, moving on to My Time to Shine Hello claims that Chris McKenna and Eric Summers turned in a rough draft for the Spider-Man 4 script before the strike, and that the studios were very impressed with it. Oh boy, dude. Time to talk about Spider-Man.
Sheesh.
What do we think it's gonna be? What do we think what do you think they're gonna go straight into a Venom?
No.
Or not Venom, but the black suit?
So I think the black suit? Yeah, they could actually do that. But I think at least in some aspect, it will continue the events of Daredevil Born Again. Because what we've heard of
Oh
what's
yeah,
what's widely to be,
street team.
yes, what's widely believed to be like the main like conflict, at least in the second part of the upcoming Daredevil show, is that Kingpin like becomes mayor, and like his main like one of his main initiatives is to put an end to like all of like vigilante like crime fighting action and whatnot.
Maya
um
Kingpin.
and he's obviously, that's going to put him into conflict with like Daredevil, Punisher, and
The
most
Maya.
most people assume even like Spider-Man. So obviously I don't think Spider-Man is going to be in Daredevil, which means, the only other way they continue that story is if it's in Spider-Man 4. So I think they'll at least like I feel like at least part of the movie is gonna continue or at least conclude that particular storyline. Um, but they'll probably throw in a bunch of other things as well. Like they'll probably throw in the black suit, the symbiote suit. They'll probably throw in I don't even know what else they might throw in, but maybe they'll end up throwing in the other Sony characters like Venom or Craven or bring back Morbius. I don't know. It's like what's gonna happen, but it's honestly really anything is possible at this point. Like they could really go in any direction they want, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's really hard to tell, but it's exciting to not like kind of have an idea. Because
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
that means they can do not really, but like it feels like they can do anything. Um, so I just want to see more Tom Holland Spider Man. That's pretty much what
And
I
you
want.
will, hopefully.
But in relation to Spider Man, but probably more disheartening than previous news. Um, can we get some toast claims that Marvel asked Andrew Garfield to return as Spider Man in Secret Wars sometime before the strikes? I guess I didn't read that right the first time. Uh, but I mean, just give me Spider Man 4 or 3. I mean, I'm sorry, Amazing Spider Man 3.
We can only hope. We can
We
only
can only
hope.
hope Sony
See,
wants
that's
money.
why I don't understand, like, we brought this up before. I don't understand why Sony would not make different Spider-Man movies instead of what they're
Just
currently
all the
doing.
shitty
With like
fucking
doing
villain
what,
movies
yeah,
that aren't villains.
yeah. Like, I don't know. It just makes no sense. They're like, we just had a widely crazy successful Spider-Verse movie, right? Obviously, people are interested in seeing all these different variants of Spider-Man. We could do spin-off movies, both animated and live action for basically any of these different Spider-Man characters. But instead, let's take all these villains and hear me out, make them into heroes and make movies out of them. Will they, go up against Spider-Man at some point in the future? Who knows? Not us. We're just
Not
gonna do
us.
this.
No clue.
Just gonna make these movies. Maybe we even make them. We don't even know if we are, but make these movies and then, yeah, that's it. But I don't know. I feel like there's just like so much better stuff that they could be doing, including, an Amazing Spider-Man 3. Heck, they could even, make Spider-Man 4 like with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man
Yeah.
and Sam Raimi coming back for old time's sake. You can make a live action, Miles Morales Spider-Man movie. They can make a live action Spider-Man, what is it, 2099? Is that his like the year that the future
Yeah.
Spider-Man is from? But I don't know. They could just do so many cool. But now they are. I think Amazon is doing like that Spider-Man noir, like show spinoff or whatever. Which like that's cool. Like we should get more of that. No, like that. I would much
Nah,
rather see
dude.
more of
Nobody
that
even
stuff. But
likes Spider Man.
sheesh. But we can only hope, I guess.
That's all I got for MCU stuff. Am I just gonna continue?
Yeah. Unless Ben has something he wants to say, I'm good. I've said everything.
Okay.
I'm all good.
Oh yeah, I didn't know since it's like moving on to DC.
Yeah. You're
Um,
good.
but this will be something I have no say on. The Blue Beetle movie review. I didn't watch it yet. I'm probably gonna go tomorrow.
Sheesh. Have you seen it, Ben?
I have not, but I heard it's pretty damn good.
I feel so. I don't even want to do this, dude. I don't even want to. I don't even want to do this. I want to move on to the next topic, but I have seen it, and it was okay. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great, um, but I didn't think it was anywhere close to being bad either. And this is gonna sound bad, but it's kind of what I thought of the Flash, to be honest. Like
Way to go, dude.
it was but no, that's the thing, is like most people just absolutely despise the Flash, and while I do admit that they completely dropped the ball on it, and like they just had so many other potential storylines that they could have done that would have made it much better. There's still actually like quite a few things I liked about the Flash though at the end of the day, and that's how I feel about Blue Beetle. Like it did a lot of things good. It also did a lot of things bad. I thought so. It's just kind of right in that middle of like it's an alright movie. Like I would definitely recommend watching it at least once for sure. But if you're going in expecting anything crazy, I would just temper those expectations right now, because it is not.
Oh yeah, I definitely didn't go in expecting it to be a fucking
Yeah, like it's one of those
raw
movies
movie of the
where
year.
if you just go in completely shut off your brain, uh don't second guess anything, don't think about anything that happens, just focus on the jokes, the humor, just the action, focus on having a good time, then you're gonna have a good time. But if you decide to focus on some of the dialogue, if you decide to focus on how like half the story just contradicts itself and doesn't make really any sense, yeah, then might be you might have a reaction like me, and you're like, well, it's all right. It's all right, not anything crazy, but yeah, I will say though, go ahead, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, but let me ask you,
Okay.
do you think it's better than Black Adam?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit better than Black Adam.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it a little bit more than Black Adam, and honestly even Shazam 2 earlier this year. I put it a little bit above that as well. um I will say though, like if you're like forcing me to rank like Flash and Blue Beetle, I would definitely put Blue Beetle above the Flash, not because I think it's better, only because I feel like with the Flash, like I said before, there's a lot of wasted potential into what as to what it could have been. Blue Beetle, I feel like with the general overall story, right, that they decided to go with, there's not really many things that they could have done better in terms of like the story. Now, you know, they could have done things differently within that, right? Like smaller elements within the story, they definitely could have changed, that would have made it much better. But in terms of the overall story, um, you know, the main thing that happens at the start, the main thing that happens in the middle, and the main thing that happens at the end, like I feel like there wasn't really, you know, many ways that they could have made it better. So because of that, the Flash had like much more wasted potential, at least in my opinion. I'd probably put Blue Beetle above the Flash. But in no way am I saying that you will enjoy it more than you enjoy the Flash, because like I said, for me, I put him probably along like the same level. But But yeah, like I said, the action scenes were really cool. You know, the CGI was a little wonky at times, but you know, I didn't expect anything crazy to begin with because I knew the budget wasn't that great. I mean, it was originally supposed to come out on HBO Max, so I mean, obviously they weren't going to give it a huge budget. So I didn't expect, you know, anything great from the CGI to begin with. But you know, the choreography with like the fight scenes were really cool. The humor was really good. Like, there, obviously, you know, there's some jokes that don't land, but for the most part, I thought, you know, they hit pretty good. And yeah, I mean, the acting, especially well, I did have some issues with the acting and for some of the side characters, but for like the main characters, I thought, you know, the acting was very good. Um, but yeah, everything else I just don't want to talk about. Aside from those things.
Well, sheesh.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything because I haven't seen the movie.
Now, I one last thing too, I will want to point out for those of you that don't know, this isn't technically the first movie of the new
No.
DCU, but James Gunn said, and he actually even reiterated it again like a week ago, that the character that's in the movie of Blue Beetle, like he will return again in the DCU. So, you know, the character of Blue Beetle and the guy that plays him, I can't remember the actor's name, but you know, he will continue to be in the DCU. But yeah, like the story of what happens here is not going to have like any, you know, ramifications for the DCU. Like it's basically going to be a clean slate. Like the events of this movie will not have happened in the DCU, but the character, you know, will be in the DCU. And if that doesn't make sense to you, I'm welcome to the club because I, I don't understand it either. But that's what they're going with. So we'll see.
Okay. Moving on to something that I like. I feel like it's the perfect cast for the role.
Yes.
My Time to Shine Hello claims that Margot Robbie will return as Harley Quinn in the DCU. I'm fucking excited about that. I loved her as Harley Quinn. I can't really see anybody else as Harley Quinn. Now.
True.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
okay with it. What do you guys think? I'm more than okay with it.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. I mean, like, I know some people are like, I mean, if you're getting rid of some characters from the DCU, why not just like start with a clean, you know, full fresh slate, like a new clean slate of, you know, completely recasting every single character. But to be honest, like, who's gonna do better than Margot Robbie as
Exactly.
Harley Quinn? Like, I couldn't tell you.
If
Like,
we have the option.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm more than okay with it.
Yeah, man. I'm all cool with it.
Hope it's true.
All right, heard it here first.
Verified.
We're all cool with it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mario Rabbit. Go ahead, Disney. Or Disney. Wow. How much gonna stop?
I thought that was the joke. Like,
um, moving on. Gal Gadot has recently claimed that James Gunn and Peter Safran assured her she would return as Wonder Woman in the DCU, and that Wonder Woman 3 would be made. However, Variety and other trades have weighed in and claimed that DC has no plans to make Wonder Woman 3, and were doubtful she would even return as Wonder Woman at all. Can we get some toast? Seemingly backed up Gal's claims, though, adding that the upcoming Max prequel show Paradise Lost will star Gal as Wonder Woman and will change her origins from the DCEU.
yeah. So this was a pretty wild situation that has unfolded over the last couple days. Um, so much so that I just had to include it. I had to put it in the podcast. But yeah, it essentially has played out exactly like you said. But you know, she basically said like, "Yeah, I'm coming back as Wonder Woman. They told me I'm coming back, so therefore I am." And then, like I said, the trades are like, our sources tell us that James Gunn does not plan making a Wonder Woman 3 or, having her come back as Wonder Woman in the first place. And, some insiders are saying she is coming back, other insiders are saying she's not. So honestly, I have no clue. I literally have no idea. And like James Gunn, a couple people I've seen have asked James Gunn, like both in interviews and like online on Twitter, and like he hasn't. He's basically just like give the no comment response. As far as we know, like he did confirm earlier this year that they did at least meet, right? Like they did have discussions with Gal about potentially returning, but he said that they hadn't decided, at least at that point, yet whether they were gonna have her return as Wonder Woman or not. So I have no clue. I don't think really anyone has a clue except for James Gunn as to what they're gonna do. But I guess my question to you guys would be, would you want to see Gal come back as Wonder Woman, or would you rather them recast?
I mean, I guess it really depends on how many people they're gonna bring back as their characters, as their roles.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I don't not like her as Wonder Woman. I really
I
like the first
agree.
Wonder Woman
I'm
movie.
just gonna say I enjoyed
I did
her as
not
Wonder Woman.
really like the second one.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that wasn't entirely her fault, though, to be
Yeah,
fair.
for
But
sure. I mean, like, she doesn't play the role bad or anything.
yeah.
But like, I'm also okay if we want to get somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a weird thing because, like, if you bring her back, but like every other like main cast of the Justice League gets recast, it's like, I don't know, it is kind of like a weird thing to do. But I mean,
Right.
like, if they're like, hey, like, we did this because she is the clear-cut best choice to play Wonder Woman and we couldn't find anyone better, I mean, I would accept that as well. Like, if they're like, if they're truly adamant about that, then I'm fine with it. But yeah, I feel like it's unfair, like for me to like truly judge this because I feel like the last couple things I've seen her as Wonder Woman in like Wonder Woman 2, Shazam 2, The Flash, like those were all pretty rough movies, right? So like I feel like that's kind of tainted my like view of her as Wonder Woman. But then like you guys said, when I look back to the first Wonder Woman film, I was like, I mean, that's phenomenal, right? Like that's really good. So like if they could kind of recapture that in the DCU with her as Wonder Woman, I mean, I feel like that'd be cool, right? But at the end of the day, we'll have to see.
Okay. Well, I only have one more thing.
Mhm.
A wild rumor started going around earlier today that, and this is wild, John Krasinski is being heavily considered to play Batman in the DCU. Can we get some toast? Only further added to these rumors by claiming he is the perfect age for what DC wants of the character. Man, it's gonna be crazy seeing Jim fight fucking crime.
True. Yeah, so basically is this tweet, well, there's been a couple tweets, but in terms of can we get some toast, what they said, they responded to this tweet where this person said he's too old, but 7 years ago this would have been a good casting, in reference to John Krasinski potentially playing Batman. And then they responded with this image showing his age of 43 years. And then they say he's not too old, perfect age, in fact, for what DCU wants. But would I be okay with this? Yes. Do I think, as much as I love John, do I
It's
think
definitely not who I'm thinking of.
exactly? Do I think it is the absolute best, most perfect casting? No.
You could get
But you go ahead, say it. You want to.
fucking God, I can't remember his name.
Say it.
Oh, hold on, I got it. I'm thinking.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Close, actually.
Sheesh. No,
Close.
that would be a crazy if they did, an
Thomas
actual,
Wayne.
yeah, like an actual Flashpoint adaptation. That'd be sick if they got him to play Thomas Wayne. But
Jensen Ackles. There you
yes, there you go. There you go.
go. Jesus Christ,
That is my perfect casting for Batman right there in the DCU.
100%.
I mean,
Perfect
like,
age too
yeah.
for what they want.
I mean, perfect age. He's got the voice. He's got the look. He's
already
got the
voiced
acting
them.
chops. I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, what the fuck can you do? What else can you do, man? Yeah, that'd be 100% my fan cast right there. But like I said, at the end of the day, if John does end up getting cast as Batman, am I gonna be upset? No. I mean, I think he could do a good job in the role as well, obviously. But we'll see what happens. But obviously, as with everything we've gone over so far, because of the strikes, still probably going to be a while before we find out, any concrete, official information regarding the Batman casting in the DCU. But all we can do until then is speculate, I guess.
Wild speculation, my favorite.
Yeah. That's what they've turned us into now, dude. They can't get a deal done, so they're like, you know what? Just speculate, guys. We know you guys thrive off of the news, but giving it to you.
Ain't got no news.
Sheesh.
Ain't got no soul.
Except that there is no news. That's the news. But yeah, did you say that was everything you had, right?
Yes.
All right, well, this is actually a very quick last minute ad to the podcast list I have here, but up until then, I really didn't have like any video game related things I wanted to go over, but I did see earlier today that apparently Sony put up a listing for a combat designer with knowledge of the previous two God of War games, which obviously heavily suggests that they are in development on the next God of War game. So yeah, pretty cool.
No, they're just looking for a guy that knows about the weapons. They just
Yeah.
want to talk to him.
Yeah. Just see what he thinks about it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool weapons, huh? Yeah, all right. Thanks for coming in.
They're like, wait, you don't need me to do a job like for the next game? They're
Oh
like,
God,
eh.
no, we made the weapons. We got it.
But yeah, I know some people might want me to bring up the Modern Warfare 3 news. The next Call of Duty is coming out later this year, but I just didn't see enough, interesting official information about that for me to want to bring it up. But if you guys want to, by all means. But
I'm just glad we're getting all 16 base maps. From
that's true.
Modern Warfare 2.
That is cool. Yeah.
Are we really?
Yes, they are.
Oh my God, dude.
So what they're doing? What they're doing is they're taking every the original 16 maps, and they are building each map again in their own engine. So it's gonna be a 1-for-1 identical version. Yeah.
Bro, high rise is gonna be a fucking pain in the ass.
Oh, it for sure
man.
is.
The spawn snipes. Oh, can't wait.
Yeah. I did. Now I don't know if this is like true or not, if it was just speculation, but I did see that they're like bringing back a lot of the things that they took out in the last game that people were complaining about. I couldn't tell you any specific examples of that. I just knew that they took out a lot. I think like some things had to do with like the movement, like slide canceling or whatnot. Some things had to do with like the mini map, and there's like a couple random things that they just decided to change or take out in the last game for some reason that people weren't happy with. And I guess they're just like bringing it back for this game. I don't know, but if you guys know me though, you know that my main draw to Call of Duty, at least nowadays, is the zombies portion of the games, and everything I've heard about, their version of the zombies in Modern Warfare 3 doesn't sound that appealing, at least to me. So I don't know. I guess I'll have to see more, obviously, before I can make a final determination on how I feel about the game. But
Remember how you said
See
your
what
macaroni and cheese was mid, Evan, earlier today? Sorry, breaking the fourth wall here, but I kind of feel mid about the zombies thing this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you too, like at least Treyarch is gonna be making their own game next
Oh
year,
yeah,
which should be
definitely.
better. But my only worry with that is that because they're having to divert like a bunch of attention and resources from that game to making this, the zombies mode in Modern Warfare 3 this year, a part of me just worries that that means they're not gonna have like they're not gonna be fully devoted and dedicating all their resources and whatnot to their game next year, which obviously wouldn't be a good thing, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's about it, I think. That's all I got. So you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up or talk about?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
Excuse me.
Did you have a Harry Potter fun fact that you wanted to bring up, Evan?
Let me bring them up real quick. I got them saved.
Okay. But yeah, while he's getting that up, again, like I said at the start of the podcast, because the strikes are still going on and because there's not, a whole lot of actual news or information coming out about, pretty much anything. There's a good chance the next podcast won't be for another 3 weeks, like we did between the last one and this one. But if by chance there happens to be a bunch of actual information that comes out, between now and 2 weeks from now, then you know, we might get back to the normal schedule and have one in 2 weeks. But only time will tell, honestly. We'll have to see what happens. But
I don't know if I said this one, but did you know that before like Christopher Columbus and everybody were attached to the films, um, to that first one at least, Steven Spielberg was supposed to direct it,
yeah, I think you did say that
and
one,
he
but
wanted Haley Joel Osment to play Harry Potter.
oh, I don't think you said that though, actually.
Can you imagine?
Wait, who is it again?
Haley Joel Osment.
I don't know, man. It kind of like
Also,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, this is just more of a stupid thing. I'm sure everybody knows, but uh, Voldemort used to have a nose. He didn't always look like a snake.
Sheesh. That's a good one right there. But yeah, it kind of just like made me, and we've obviously talked about this before, but it made me think again, who, like, who are they even gonna cast like in the new Harry Potter
Yeah,
series
I
that they're
do not
doing?
envy the casting department.
That is a tough job. Well, not only casting, but also like actually playing the role, obviously. But um,
Definitely also casting.
yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
They
But
better all be British, dude. I can't. I don't think I can deal with
true,
an American
true.
Harry
You
Potter.
imagine American, or even worse yet, an American Harry Potter like doing a British accent.
Oh my god. Oh,
It was
mine.
just so
Oh,
bad.
I don't want to go to school today. I'm a wizard.
Oh
Crikey.
no.
They make Harry Potter. They make Harry Potter, but like everyone talks in American accents and uses like the latest like modern slang.
Sheesh.
Ayo, teach.
You
Gotta
better
get
not
these
be capping with these
Horcruxes, bruh.
spells.
Yeah,
No fucking Horcruxes.
I know it's not gonna happen. It's wishful thinking, but I really hope that people just like aren't like just crazy toxic and mean to whoever they cast
Oh,
as
good one, dude.
because obviously
Good
it's gonna be a
one.
young actor, right? Like it's gonna be like a kid that they cast, and like you already know people are gonna be like, bro, this is a terrible cast. He looks nothing like Harry Potter, and then like the first footage they see, they'll be like, I don't know, you got this kid seems pretty bad. Harry Potter. Like, okay, dude, calm down.
I still think it would be crazy cool if they brought back like Daniel Radcliffe to play James, like his father,
Yeah.
and like, what if Rupert plays Arthur Weasley,
That
dude,
would be that would be funny.
and fucking Emma Watson plays.
Sheesh. Yeah, that'd be wild. I don't think they will, but that would be pretty
No, no, I
crazy.
don't think they will either. But yeah, no, that would be nuts.
I guess we'll have to see. But yeah. If you guys are good with everything, then we'll wrap things up. But yep. It's going to be the end of today's podcast. Like I said, the next one is going to be within 2 to 3 weeks, depending on, the amount of actual news that comes out. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll, factor into when the next podcast is. But yeah, just keep an eye out. I'll schedule the stream, at least a day beforehand. It'll be either on a Sunday or a Monday. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and we'll see you next time.
Bye forever.
See ya.